guys, so we are out here with our brand new Camaro SS 1LE. Well, at least it's brand new to me. We've had this car for right around 1 month so far and put around 3,000 miles on a road trip all the way up the East Coast. There's gonna be a video coming on that, so stick around for that. But I wanna go over a few things that I found out over the course of the 5,000 miles that I've owned this car that I've either loved, hated, and give you guys a little bit of tips if you guys are looking to buy a Camaro SS 1LE for yourself. One of the things that, again, we're gonna try to skip all the bullshit on this car. You guys know the stats. You know it's 450 horsepower, 455, whatever you guys want to call it. But when it comes down to daily driving this car, what is it really like to own? And that's something that I want to walk you guys through right now. One of the few things I want to knock out right off the bat is that, yes, we did change the bumper. We went to a ZL1 bumper from Icon Motorsports and had it paint matched to the car, which I think it looks a lot more aggressive than the stock bumper does on these cars. So super happy with how this came out. Again, basically this opening right here is going to provide a whole bunch more cooling to the front of the car when we take it on track at COTA in about a month here. So this car has been built to be on track, but how does it handle on the road as a daily driver? And what I can say is, like, this suspension, I've owned a ZL1 1LE, and that car compared to this car, it's night and day. This on the road, daily driving on the highway is so comfortable to drive. Again, we took it basically all the way from Georgia to Connecticut on a 1-week road trip all the way up the East Coast, and the suspension held up fantastic. The seats were great, the suspension held up, and it was really comfortable to drive. And one of the coolest parts is we installed a Borla Attack exhaust in the back, and there was no drone whatsoever. If you guys were wondering what that exhaust sounded like, and again, there is no drone on the back whatsoever. Let's put in a little bit of clips with the car behind me here and let that engine roar a little bit. But again, the exhaust sounds awesome. And one of the best parts about this car is that it is so insanely powerful. Basically what you can do is throw it into track mode, turn traction control all the way off, and it'll brake tires literally at any speed. Not any speed. It'll brake tires in first gear, in second gear, and then roll you right through third. So it's an awesome car to drive, a visceral experience that really kind of makes me want to jump in this thing every single day. So the coolest parts about this car is actually the front end and the brakes. I absolutely love how fast this thing stops. You slam on the brakes and you can feel basically all the pressure goes straight to your head. It stops literally on a dime. These tires, right now we have Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's on the car. And the current wheel setup is a 10 in the front and 11 in the rear. They're 20-inch wheels, and we're going to be changing that up shortly. We're going to be going to an 18-inch wheel. We already have it. We just need to get the tires for it and get it swapped on for our next track event. But these wheels and tires are fantastic for daily driving. Couldn't love them anymore. We do have our all-terrain moccasins on right now, obviously, as we always do. Now, one of the things that I think GM could have done a little bit better with this car is designing the front end. Now, the SS 1LE is a beast of a car, but I don't think the front end necessarily matches what the car represents. Now, the ZL1 front bumper is the epitome of an aggressive front end. I can't tell you how many compliments I've gotten on this car since I upgraded this bumper. Now, I did have one person come up to me and say, "Hey, that's an awesome car. Is it a ZL1?" And I had to throw my ego aside and say, no, it's an SS 1LE. But that doesn't mean it's any less of a fun driving car. Because in the mountains, when we take this up to the Georgia mountains, this is all the power you need on a daily driving commute up in the mountains or on some of the smaller tracks. This car is extremely competitive when it comes to tracks with smaller straights, higher corners. And the fact of the matter is, you can drive this without breaking your back. This car is sort of what my choice was for the best daily driver. Now, one of the setbacks to that, this low slung roofline, is that you can't get a whole bunch of cargo in the rear here. You're kind of compromising that fact. We had a Focus RS before this, and that Focus RS, we could literally throw anything we want in that car. We threw 5 tires in the back. We had basically a full 2 seats in the car, some aftermarket seats. This, we're definitely a little bit more limited, but we're gonna figure out how to make that work. I think we're gonna do a rear seat delete here in a little bit and do a custom setup there for under 50 bucks, so stay tuned for that video as well. So if I had to do it all over again, would I trade in my Focus RS for a Camaro SS 1LE? or did I wish that I got a ZL1? I think every single day I am very happy that I got the SS1LE over the ZL1 1LE for one main reason. I'm not on the track enough. We track our car basically once a month during the summer, and that is not enough to really own that car and drive it to its limits. I think this car as a daily driver is your best bet, and it's something that, again, I love jumping in every single day, starting up that exhaust, hearing that Borla attack roar, that V8 sound. This is the car that I've always wanted. This is the car that I've been looking for. So it's going to be exciting to kind of see how far we're able to push the SS1LE on track, how competitive it really is. And I want to see how it stacks up against the competition there. So you have some very highly modified cars, and it's going to be interesting to kind of see how competitive we can actually be with basically a stock Camaro. The only things we have done so far is basically some of the aesthetics up front. We've done the exhaust in the rear, and we're going to be changing up the wheel and tire setup. It really does not get more basic than that to have a car that performs at the level that this one does. Part of our 1 month update, I want to let you guys know every single part we have put on this car so far. And one of the biggest changes that we've done so far is to the front end. We did an Icon Motorsports ZL1 front bumper conversion. So this was roughly costing me $1,000. Took me about 1 day to install with a couple of buddies and a case of beer. And this, I think, changes up the whole front end dramatically. One of my favorite modifications that we've done so far to the car. One thing that I still need to add is I still need to add our SS badges up front. We have a custom setup for that coming, so stay tuned for that. Now, a couple of you guys asked me, why did we not keep the bow tie on the front end? And it's a very simple answer. The bow tie or flow tie from GM cost $250. $250 to put a GM or Chevy emblem right here on the front. And while I do agree it would look a little bit better, we still have complete airflow through the front end, basically achieving exactly what we wanted to out of the car, getting more cooling to those radiators there and keeping the car cool on track. Another one of the modifications that we did recently was a $200 pair of side skirts. We have a full install of that on the channel as well. And these side skirts, over the 3,000 miles that we've driven this car so far, have held up incredibly well. They obviously did not fly off on the highway. It feels stable, feels still, all the screws still feel solid on there. I think it's thanks to some of the epoxy we used as well. I'm super impressed for a $200 pair of side skirts here in carbon fiber, how well they've held up over these last 3,000 miles. It's going to be interesting to see the lifespan of the car. If you guys want, I'm going to link those side skirts down below, as well as the link to the install video if you guys want to go check that out. So in the back here, we actually upgraded our taillights to a GM smoke taillight. This is straight off of the ZL1 1LE, and I think it changes up the back end quite a bit. Really ties everything together with the blue especially. I think on the other colors, some of the red actually makes some sense. It goes with the body lines, but on this blue, I really think the clear is the way to go. We also went the GM clear third brake light as well. Again, a very simple job. We're sticking to the aesthetics here, trying to keep the car mostly stock for the class that we race. But one of the biggest changes we did was right here to the exhaust. Now, we went with the Borla Attack exhaust with NPP. What that means is essentially I keep the stock valve option, which means I'm able to go from touring mode to sport to track, and it'll actually move the actuators inside of there to give me a little bit of different sound. Let's go ahead and start up the car so you guys can hear exactly what that sounds like rolling through some of those modes. So what do you guys think? I think that new exhaust sounds absolutely amazing in both touring mode and sport mode. The biggest noticeable difference is at low RPMs. When you start really revving out that touring mode with the NPP exhaust, it does become pretty loud. It is quieter than sport mode, but it is definitely still pretty loud. So let me know in the comments down below whether you guys could actually notice a difference between sport mode and touring mode. Again, when you're on startup at low RPMs, that's when the MPP function really works. when you start really revving out the motor, touring mode starts to sound extremely aggressive. But sport mode sounds that much more punishing. I absolutely love the way this car sounds on a throttle, and what's awesome is that this car will tear up traction control basically in first gear, second gear, and straight into third. This car shreds tires, and it's awesome to have the sound that matches. Again, I think one of your first modifications should definitely be an axle back exhaust. If I was to do it all over again, I would probably skip the NPP function, save your guys' money. Don't go ahead, because again, I think while it works for me, I don't think the value is really there. I think you're paying roughly an extra $500 for a function that only really operates at low RPMs. It doesn't do enough to snuff up the high notes or really hard acceleration. So I'd save your money, skip the NPP for now. So with the SS1LE, you have upgraded suede Recaro seats that really hold you in place, but they're also extremely comfortable. We drove it basically 15 hours up the East Coast, and I was extremely impressed by how the seats felt the whole way up. I never felt uncomfortable in the car compared to some of my cars that I've owned previously. I think it's a combination of two things. One is the seats are extremely well bolstered. They fit me extremely well. But then also the suspension on this car really is comfortable when you need it to be comfortable, and it is aggressive when you need it to be aggressive. That's the whole point of magnetic ride suspension. It basically allows the car to adapt to any type of road situation. So if you hit a bump hard, it compresses quickly. If you hit a bump slow, it compresses slowly. Might have those in reverse, but whatever. Definitely works. So it definitely works. It's something that I'm extremely impressed by. It's something that really kind of ties the whole car together here. Now, what some of you guys may be wondering is, oh, I have kids, I have dogs, I can't own a two-door Camaro like this. And I drove, again, I only have a puppy right now, but I drove him and the girlfriend all the way up to the East Coast. And again, everybody was happy, everybody was comfortable, the dog got right in the back, girlfriend was happy in her seats right there, air conditioning, everything worked out perfectly. So this is a car you can daily every single day. Now, the one thing you might want to have, just be cautious of, is you're not going to have a lot of storage room. So our trunk was absolutely filled in this car. It's hard to kind of fit a lot of things in there. So keep that in mind when you're going ahead to buy that. But so far, I haven't missed my station wagon at all. I've really enjoyed owning this car. So guys, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see next here on this channel. Are you guys happy with the Camaro SS1LE? What do you want to see done on this build next? I'm really excited to share this whole ownership experience with you guys. So let's go ahead, keep on building, keep on trucking, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned.